Hello everyone, this is Eagle News. I am Eliza Gonzalez Manglekmot coming to you from Washington, D.C. It is Saturday, November 20th, 2021, here in the nation's capital. This week's stories. Myla Simbulan reports about medical experts in Pennsylvania answering pediatric-related COVID questions. Get That Flu Shot, a free inoculation event in Mountain View, California, delights neighbors. That story from Tim and Lee. Record rainfall has washed out roads, caused landslides, and shut down highways in British Columbia. This and more from Correspondent-At-Large, Thomas Likness. For Color My World, Nenita Manaois takes us to the Texas Sculpture Garden, where art is the landscape. For this week's Oceania-At-A-Glance, Morgan Goodfellow tells us all about wearable art on display at the Pinnacles Gallery in Townsville, Queensland, Australia. And Ecco Hortaleza-Quinola reports about a fresh avenue for art creatives in Papua New Guinea. For a window to Latin America, May Davila takes us on a quick tour of Panama Canal's Miraflores Locks Visitor Center. For this week's Health is Wealth, Frendel Feheran introduces us to a fitness enthusiast in Seattle, Washington, who says enough sleep, fiber, and fit friendships are what we need to achieve that healthy self. Plus, get ready for this week's Behind the Counter with Ikaira's recipes for tiger butter fudge and peanut butter oat bars. Our coverage begins now. If you are a parent and concerned if the recently approved pediatric COVID vaccine is good for your child, health experts in Pennsylvania hosted a live-streamed question and answer event providing residents information to help them decide whether or not to get kids that shot. Myla Simbulan has the details.
Thanks, Eliza. Since the start of the pandemic, about 6.3 million children have tested positive for COVID-19, which represents almost 17% of all the COVID-19 patients in the United States. According to the Children's Hospital Association, nearly about 118,000 cases of COVID-19 were reported in children during the week of October 14, 2021. Over that week, children represented 25% of all COVID cases in the United States. There have been more than 67,000 children hospitalized with COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic, with 1,036 new hospital admissions of children during the week beginning October 21st. In Pennsylvania, the number of reported COVID-19 cases among school children 5 to 18 was 5,238 for the week of October 26th. And 59,743 since August 16. Meanwhile, the number of cases involved in children from 0 to age 4 was 908 for the week ending October 26, and 10,039 since August 16. COVID-19 vaccines for children 5 to 11 was just announced. With so much information and misinformation out there, and as a parent like myself, access to reliable, trusted sources can help you make the best decision for you and your family. That's why the Pennsylvania Department of Health continues with the event called VaxFacts to answer questions from a panel of medical professionals related to pediatric COVID vaccine. Let's dive into the questions. So the first question is, the Pfizer vaccine was approved by FDA for children 5 to 11. What is emergency use authorization and how does it differ from full authorization? Let's hear the answer from Dr. Trude Hecker, MD, FAAP, President of the Pennsylvania Chapter, American Academy of Pediatrics, and General Pediatrician from Philadelphia. Take a look.
What it means is that we now have the FDA has determined the vaccine is safe and effective for children from the ages of 5 to 11. And we're thrilled to have this opportunity to vaccinate children at that age. The difference between an emergency use authorization or an EUA and full approval is how long the data was collected prior to the vaccine being approved for use. The reason the COVID vaccine was approved on a shortened timeline was because of the pandemic and the urgency of getting the vaccine out to children. And although an EUA is quicker than the traditional full review process, it doesn't mean that the FDA has cut corners when it comes to evaluating the vaccine data, the risks, and the benefits.
So the next question is, why is the vaccine coming out later for children than it was for adults? Is the vaccine safe and effective for children as it was for adults? Here's Dr. Swabi Gauthan, MD, FAAAP, board-certified and fellowship-trained specialist in pediatric infectious diseases from Danville. Take a look.
So the adult dosing and older than 12 dosing is a little different than in the 5 to 11 group. So we can give the same dose, the 30 microgram dose to a 5-year-old that you would to an 18-year-old. So the data had to be studied. Once the adult studies happened, we started studying children, so the enrollment happened later. And then the studies that were conducted looked to see whether or not the new 10 microgram dose was safe and effective. So all the similar processes that the older ages, vaccines for the older age group had to go through, the same processes the 5 to 11 age group had to go through as well. So that's why it took a little bit longer. And so yes, definitely the vaccine, the ACIP, the CDC, AAP, we've all looked at the data, and all the experts have looked at the data from the Pfizer studies, and we all feel confident that the vaccine is indeed effective and safe in children. And so now with that confidence, the formal recommendations have been made, and so now we have the same opportunity. We can offer the same protection that we've been offering for older children and adults to the 5 to 11-year-olds, and we can offer them that same safety.
The panel also pointed out that children ages 5 through 11 may only receive the Pfizer pediatric vaccine, while children ages 12 through 17 may only receive the Pfizer 12+ vaccine. Also, with parental consent, children ages 5 through 11 are able to receive the free FDA-authorized, CDC-approved, and pediatrician-recommended Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine at pediatrician offices, health centers, pharmacies, and other healthcare provider facilities. This is Myla Sabulan, Eagle News. Back to you, Eliza.
Thanks, Myla. Now, you do have children that are within the 5 to 11 years age range, correct? Now, Myla, are you planning to have them vaccinated?
My youngest is 10 years old, and he hasn't received the vaccine yet. But I was able to make an appointment for him for his first dose this coming Sunday. So it's good for us because everyone in my household, my husband and my two other children, they're all vaccinated, and I think it will be beneficial. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, we went to immersive experience. Initially, they're not requiring us to bring our vaccination card, but they sent me an email stating that there are new rules now, especially in the Philadelphia area, where they now require to bring your to show your vaccination card upon entering the premises, or to show a negative COVID testing result. So I had a couple of days before the event, I have to bring my son, who's not vaccinated yet, to a COVID testing site, which is kind of a hassle. But so I think it's good for him to finally get the vaccine, and it's also for his own protection. Eliza?
I agree, Myla, I agree. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, residents of Mountain View, California get access to a free flu shot event hosted by a congregation there of the Iglesia ni Cristo. Timon Lee reports.
It's officially flu season, and although the nation is focusing its plenty resources on COVID-19 vaccinations, U.S. health experts has expressed a different plea: to get your flu shot. Communities in the Bay Area have begun responding to this plea. Here in Mountain View, California, a free flu shot event has been organized for the neighborhood by a neighborhood church, because getting this flu shot out of the way gives you one less thing to worry about when it comes to keeping yourself and those around you healthy.
Well, getting the flu shot is always important during the flu season, but it's much more important now because we do have a pandemic. And so it will protect us from different kinds of viruses, not just the COVID-19. There are still viruses out there, and influenza is highly infectious and can be deadly. So every year we strive to give these free neighborhood flu shots to help those who don't have access to health care, whether it is because they don't have insurance or the healthcare facility is far from where they are, they don't have transportation. This is actually free for all. Even people with insurance can have this. However, this is mainly targeted for those who don't have access to healthcare, no insurance, or low-income members of the community.
For community members, getting access to an outreach event like this makes life easier, especially in these times when everyone is extra mindful of their health. Because getting sick today, even slightly, is no joke.
So I think because it's very important to get, especially in these times, because we are having problems with the COVID. And at my age, I think at this age, it's very important to get this flu shots for make sure I'm gonna be fine.
So when able, let's get that flu shot. At the Iglesia Ni Cristo free flu shot outreach, Timon Lee, Eagle News, Mountain View.
Thanks, Timon. Now, Thomas Likness gives us an overview of the tragic landslide in British Columbia, virtually cutting off the province from the rest of Canada. This story and more on this week's Correspondent-At-Large.
Nature again has hit Western Canada with its fury. The past several months have not been kind to the province of British Columbia. You recall in the summer it was drought and extremely hot temperatures. Now, torrential rain. It's caused flooding and landslides in southern and central British Columbia, as well as southern Vancouver Island. This is what the city of Abbotsford near Vancouver looks like. More than 1,000 people have been evacuated from their homes, and in the city of Merritt, the entire community of 5,000 has been ordered out, flooding, and that flooding has overwhelmed the water treatment and sewage treatment plants. The record rainfall has also washed out roads and caused mudslides. They've shut down a number of highways. This highway here is called the Coquihalla. The Coquihalla is a major route connecting British Columbia to Alberta. It just snapped in two when rains washed it out. At one point, more than 275 people were stranded in their vehicles, some for more than 10 hours, waiting for rescuers. Many of them were plucked out by helicopters. At least one person died, and BC Premier John Horgan fears there may be more bad news as crews continue their search for vehicles buried by the slide.
But sadly, we expect to confirm even more fatalities in the coming days.
Vancouver is virtually cut off from the rest of Canada as major highways leading into the city have been closed. That has disrupted truck traffic, which transports goods imported into Canada through Vancouver's port, the fourth busiest in North America. Consumers across the country could be facing shortages or delays in getting merchandise because of the backlog. And in BC, Horgan is telling people, don't buy more of the essentials than you need.
With respect to the hoarding, again, I'm saying people, do the right thing. Listen to what your mom told you when you were little. Do unto others as you would have do unto you. Respect the fact that you do not need 48 eggs. A dozen will do, and leave the rest for somebody else.
Well, just how much rain did fall? Up to 250 millimeters fell between Sunday and Monday last week. Normally, that's the total expected rainfall for 1 month. Violence in Mexican resorts discouraging tourists from visiting there. The country beefing up security in resort communities on the Riviera Maya. Mexico's defense secretary has created a tourist battalion of nearly 1,500 National Guard officers. Their job, patrolling popular Caribbean beaches like these. They'll patrol in Cancun and Tulum to keep them out of the hands of organized crime. You know, that extra security has been prompted by the murders of vacationing foreigners over the past several years. Just last month, 2 tourists, one from Germany, the other from India, died in a shooting in Tulum. And earlier this month near Cancun, gunplay between 2 rival gangs of drug dealers caused panic in a hotel packed with tourists. New security forces begin patrols December 1st. Well, don't try this at home. Hey, what's this guy doing? This is Remy Ouvard. He lives in France. Remy has broken the record for standing on a hot air balloon more than 4,000 meters in the air. That's more than 13,000 feet above ground. Why would he do this? Well, he was raising money for an annual telethon in France. That telethon supports research for neuromuscular disease. Ouvard claims there were no risks because, the weather was calm up there. It's not like he was caught in the jet stream. Let's take a look at some more of the shots of Ouvard's adventure. Quite a feat. But I'm going to stay on the ground here so I can bring you more stories of the day next week. Thomas I. Likness, Correspondent-At-Large, Eagle News.
Thanks, Thomas. Now we head to Texas to enjoy a garden landscaped with sculptures. Artworks that residents say are pleasantly relaxing. Nenita Manaois reports for this week's Color My World.
One of the largest private collections of contemporary sculpture produced by local artists is the Texas Sculpture Garden. Located at Hall Park in Frisco, Texas, it sits on 4 acres of land and is free for public viewing. This unique attraction showcases more than 40 pieces of art from the private collection of Craig and Catherine Hall. The indoor art collection is open only on weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., but the outdoor exhibit can be explored any time of the day. A free audio tour is also available through a downloadable app to help visitors learn more about the sculptures and their artists. Texas Sculpture Garden also offers scenic landscapes, walking trails, and picturesque lakes and fountains for visitors to enjoy.
Apart from water, it was really surprising to see the work of art done by Texan over here. It was interesting and fascinating to see so many of them.
I love this place because of the tranquility of it, the intermix of the art, the animals, just the entire vibe is so calming that I'm literally here at least 2 to 3 times a week just because I love the ambience of the place. It's just like, it's like a garden within a city, and it's very tranquil and very calming, and it's so peaceful. It's just like an oasis in the middle of the city, and I love it.
Art pieces from world-renowned artists in the whole collection decorate almost every corner of the whole park, including building lobbies. Collector Craig Hall once stated, "Art is good for the soul. It nurtures the spirit and inspires the imagination." Nenita Manaois, Color My World, Frisco, Texas, Eagle News.
Thank you, Nenita. Wearable art creative Christina Papadimitriou speaks with Oceania-At-A-Glance and tells us about the ongoing exhibit at the Pinnacles Gallery in Townsville, Queensland, Australia. Morgan Goodfellow has the story.
Townsville's Pinnacles Gallery has introduced their latest exposition, 21 and Up Close, a display of dexterity from the hands of TAFE Queensland visual art students and wearable art creatives. The annual exhibition of TAFE Queensland's visual art students has produced another phenomenal display of creation, allowing us to have a glance at the practice of Townsville's emerging artists. This exhibition features a selection of wearable art crafted by the Wearable Art Creatives organisation, which was featured at the Paves event at NAFA. The showcase will allow spectators to have a more in-depth look at these spectacular creations. The inspiration for these designs have been mirrored from sources including our natural environment, society, and the ever-expanding perspective of artists. Seizing the opportunity to meet the founder of Wearable Art Creatives, Christina Papadimitriou, I asked her to further elaborate her connection to the exhibition and if there was anything we had to look forward to within the near future.
So 21 is actually a TAFE exhibition, so it's the students' the end of year exhibition that they hold, and they invited Wearable Art Creatives to share the gallery space with them. So I'm fortunate to be able to have a space to showcase the works that were part of Wearable Art Creatives show this year, which was actually part of the Pose event that was held back in August as part of NAFA. We had 33 wearable artworks on stage. Those artworks were from as far away as Mallacoota and Victoria to Brisbane, Cairns, Bowen, and obviously Townsville. So some very talented people that were part of that show. The Up Close exhibition is a selection of the wearable artworks from the Pose event. So we've got 15 artworks on show. So come along and have a look.
Observing health protocols, the exhibition will be on display from the 29th of October until the 20th of November at the Pinnacles Gallery, located at 20 Village Boulevard, Darringale Central. If you happen to be in the area, be sure to check out this amazing expose while you have the chance. Morgan Goodfellow, Oceania-At-A-Glance, Eagle News.
Thanks, Morgan. Meanwhile, in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, the freshest avenue for local artists has opened. Ecco Hortaleza-Quinola reports.
The Papua New Guinea Contemporary Art Exhibition is now open to the public. I am here at the scene in APEC Building, Port Moresby, to show you their artworks, art displays, and body art shows. Let's take a look. The partnership of the National Cultural Commission and Tumbuna Visual Arts Association have produced the first ever Papua New Guinea's National Contemporary Arts Exhibition 2021 under the theme Take Back Papua New Guinea Through Arts and Creative Industry, held at the APEC House, Port Moresby. Well-known and blossoming Papua New Guinean body artists, painters, and art designers joined force in showcasing and marketing their masterpieces.
Usually, we used to go to the craft market every Saturday, and this is the first time that we have the opportunity to sit in this good settings, and this is absolutely amazing. And this will help for sure the artists.
This two-day art exhibition was attended by the members of the Diplomatic Corps, head of department and corporate houses, dignitary and art lovers who were so attached, inspired, and amazed by their extraordinary talents. National Cultural Commission Executive Director Stephen Quilanda calls to the national and provincial governments to support the Commission to develop and promote arts and creative industry. He needs support and assistance from the private and public sectors to be an engine for economic and social development that will be a path for economic growth.
Is that we will host with 4 regions, Mombasa, New Guinea Islands, Island region and Southern region. So we'll have to put up 4 exhibitions. So we'll have to bring the best ones into Port Moresby, and we'll put up one at the end of the year. That's the biggest one. Local good, very talented artists around the country, so we are not identifying them, and we'll have to discover their skills and talent. So we have to give opportunity to the people and those unemployed. You must know that culture is the biggest standalone tourism product in this country. 90% of the tourists come into this country through culture.
Guest speaker, Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Honorable I.C. Henry Leonard, believes that the culture and creative industry, if given the recognition it deserves, will contribute to the national purse and assist in building Papua New Guinea's economy. He aims that the industry will help reduce poverty in the wider population. Minister IC is also pro-vaccination rollout. The tourism was badly hit by the pandemic, and he believes that promoting tourism goes hand in hand in promoting COVID vaccination to attract inbound tourists. He also desires for more resources to advocate and elevate the stages of the ministry, especially in creating more cultural events and promoting domestic tourism.
Since day one, I've been advocating and elevating the status of the ministry. That regardless of the COVID-19, we are still working in promoting our festivals and our events like this to promote tourism. Given the fact that there won't be any more inbound tourists until we have established our COVID-19 protocols, especially in the vaccination.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's coming very, very slowly.
So you are pro-vaccination rollout?
Yes, we do that. We are using the event. And while we're promoting the events, we also roll out awareness in COVID-19, and at the same time, addressing our people that they must get vaccinated because that's the only way in which they're protected and open up the country for tourism. In PNG, this is one of the last frontiers where culture is still vibrant, where people still practice and live in the traditional cultural ways.
From this world-class and iconic APEC building, Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, Ecco, Hortaleza-Quinola, Oceania-At-A-Glance, Eagle News.
Thanks, Ecco. Today we are going on another trip to Panama. May Davila lets us tag along as she explores the Panama Canal's Visitor Center and shares with us insight on this very significant waterway connecting the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Here's this week's Window to Latin America.
The Panama Canal continued its operation even after the pandemic erupted. But its visitor center temporarily closed March last year and only reopened August this year. However, some of its facilities remain closed for health protocols, like the IMAX Theater, where a movie about the history of Panama Canal narrated by Morgan Freeman used to be shown. The restaurants, cafes, and parts of the museum as well. On its first floor is the History Hall. Here we will learn how France began work on the canal but soon stopped due to engineering problems and the death of a lot of its workers due to malaria and yellow fever. The United States took over the construction in 1904, and the canal officially opened on August 15, 1914, just a few weeks after the First World War. The gallery on the second floor has a title, The Hall of Water, Source of Life, that exhibits the biodiversity within the Panama Canal and protection of the canal watershed that also provides water to the province of Panama. The man-made Gatun Lake is surrounded by impenetrable rainforest areas, creating a barrier for the areas surrounding Panama Canal. Today, there are some of the last remaining untouched regions in the world where native animal and plant species can flourish unscathed. The lake is home to the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, where some of the most crucial groundbreaking scientific and biological research discoveries have occurred. The third floor showcases how the canal operates. Aside from watching the canal in action at the view deck, this is where my kids enjoyed the most when we first came here, because there is a simulation room where you can experience navigating within the Panama Canal and pretend you're piloting a ship through a lock. Sadly, at the moment, this is temporarily closed. Final floor is about the canal in the world and its importance to world trade. It highlights the new set of locks, opened in June of 2016, to allow even larger new Panamax ships to pass through the canal. Finally, we are here at the view deck, the best spot to watch the big ships pass through the Panama Canal lock system. Curious about how the lock system works? Geographically, the oceans that Panama Canal connects with are not at the same level. The Pacific Ocean lies a little higher than the Atlantic Ocean. The canal has a water lock system that acts like a massive elevator. In passing from the Atlantic to the Pacific, at Gatun, a series of 3 locks lifts vessels 85 feet to Gatun Lake. They travel up to the Pedro Miguel locks that lower vessels 30 feet to Miraflores Lake at an elevation of 52 feet above sea level. Vessels then pass through a channel almost 1.2 miles long to the 2-step locks at Miraflores, where they are lowered to sea level. The final segment of the canal is a dredged approach passage 7 miles long through which ships pass into the Pacific. It takes 8 to 10 hours for each ship to make the transit through the canal. Once in the Panama Canal, the ship's captain is required to yield control of the ship while transiting. The Panama Canal has people who are specially trained to guide ships through safely. The lock chamber in the Miraflores locks has a width of 33.5 meters, and Panamax ships have a maximum width of 32.5 meters, so there's only half a meter clearance on either side of the wall. Notice those mini towing locomotives? They're called mulas or mules that use cables to safely guide the larger ships through the locks. I've been here several times, but still, watching this engineering marvel always amazes me. Before heading outside, you may want to take your picture taken at their photo booth or visit their specialty shop to buy and take home with you a remembrance of your visit here.
We hope you enjoyed our tour today. Hasta la próxima, May Davila, Window to Latin America, Eagle News.
Another fascinating fact about the canal is that it has been recently expanded to handle the world's megaships. This expansion cost $5.25 billion and was completed in 2016. Thanks, May. Now for this week's Health is Wealth. What are the things needed for someone to be on their way to a healthy lifestyle? Fitness enthusiast Dr. Uchi Odiatu shares with us 3 things one needs to be fit. Frendel Feheran has the story.
Health is wealth is an incredible life-changing mantra that requires no convincing its truth. I'm excited that you're here with us. Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to attend a dental convention, namely Pacific Northwest Dental Convention. I had a chance to walk the streets of downtown Seattle, enjoy the beauty of the city lights and skyscraper architecture, Chihuly glass. Most importantly, I got a chance to be part of the wellness experience and catch an exclusive interview with Dr. Uchi Odiatu, a best-selling author and speaker. Not only is Dr. Uchi a wellness guru, he is a dentist of 25 years, certified trainer, and certified boot camp instructor. He's been lecturing for 17 years. He loves sharing his passion with his colleagues, friends, and family in 7 countries. His life goal is to ignite people's passion by taking care of themselves. Dr. Odiatu has also fallen in love with total patient health. I'm extremely elated that I had the opportunity to visit with Dr. Uchi for an exclusive interview. What immediate actions could we take right now towards a healthier life?
3 action steps to help you grow mentally, spiritually, and physically. One is to go to bed on time. You'd be surprised, 70% of the adult population get less than 7 hours sleep, per quality and per depth of sleep. 85% of people don't exercise. Only 15% of us move regularly. By moving regularly, you can have more of this thing called BDNF. It's literally like miracle growth for the brain. Other thing is just to eat more vegetables. Now, people always ask me, what's the immediate thing I could do to be healthier? Well, eating vegetables is the number one way to get more fiber. Fiber is what the bacteria in your body want most. Microbiologists and immunologists have shown that eating fiber, that bacteria actually ferment it, and they make something called short-chain fatty acids. So 97% of the adult population does not eat enough fiber. There are only 3% of us can enjoy optimal health and a longer life. When willpower isn't enough. When willpower isn't enough. It relates to the fact that most people try and do it on their own. But you need a coach. You need fitness. You need fit friendships. You need to get people on your side. When you have more fit, healthy people in your life, it's much easier to do this for the long term. Most people fall off the wagon 2, 3, 4, 6 weeks. This is a lifetime. It's a lifestyle. So cliche. If you want to get fit faster and stay fit longer, you need a posse with you. Lipoprotein lipase is 10 times more active when you're standing. Hence, when we sit a lot, we're sending death messages to us. You know, when you sit, you're sending death messages to every cell. Because we only sat a lot 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 years ago.
Health has been proven to be the key to enjoy and appreciate the blessings around us and within us. What are the simple yet impactful practices we can start doing today towards a healthier lifestyle?
Friends Alpha Heron, health is wealth, Eagle News.
Thank you, Frendel, and thank you so much, Dr. Odia, too. Sleep, fiber, and a fitness posse. We'll work on this list. Ika Era shares with us today's recipes for tiger butter fudge and peanut butter oat bars. So put on your aprons and let's get to work. Here is this week's Behind the Counter.
Hey, I'm Ika, and welcome back to Behind the Counter, where we see easy meals be brought to life. Did you know that it takes about 540 peanuts to make a 12-ounce jar of peanut butter? That's a lot of peanuts! Let's see what we can make with it. Up first, tiger butter fudge. Next, peanut butter oat bars. The amount of recipes you can make with peanut butter is nuts, but that's all we'll share with you for this week. Check back here for full recipes, and if there's a dish that you want to see, let us know in the comments below. Catch us on eaglenews.net, on our Eagle News YouTube channel, and on our Eagle News Facebook page. Check back next week when we go Behind the Counter.
Thank you, Aika, and thank you all for watching. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Eagle News. I am Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmot. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.